Hey, hello everybody. This is Tuesday Talks at 10:30. I'm trying a pre-recording for the first time. Got a lot of things that I've got going on tomorrow morning at 10:30. So I thought I would try and pre-record it so that we didn't miss a Tuesday Talks at 10:30. So this is Connecting to Spirit with Stacy. My name is Stacy Napenhall, where I come to every Tuesday at 10:30 and we talk about mindfulness. We talk about meditation, grief, death and dying, things that allow us to come back home, come back to our inner sanctum of ourselves. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So I'm kind of, hopefully the recording is okay here and we can figure it out, and I can figure out then how to schedule it for tomorrow at 10:30. But I always like to start with my intentions so that you know who I am and what I'm about. So my name is Stacy. I am a child of God. I'm a spiritual healer and I'm a shaman. And I've been given a gift from God to channel spirit using love and light for my higher good and the higher good of those that God puts in my path. I'm not the medium that says I see death all around you and you're going to be dead in 10 days. My gift, my prayer is that spirit, that God, that angels bring in the most loving message to help your spirit heal. If you were sitting in front of me for a reading, this is part of the intention that you would hear from me. All mediums work in a different capacity. It doesn't mean one is right and the other one is wrong. We just have our own modalities, our own strengths. And mine is of healing. So my gift, my prayer is that God, that spirit, that angels bring in the most healing message to help your spirit heal. This is a Tuesday Talks at 10:30. This is not an angel card reading. So, and it is pre-recorded, hopefully. So, first of all, I've got a couple events that are coming up. November 3rd, I will be at the center at Ragged Edge here in Chambersburg, Pennsylvania. There is a link that you can get tickets to purchase to come for a reading. November 14th and 15th, I'm back in Bel Air, Maryland. The 14th, we are doing a past life regression at the Center for Trauma, and then we have an intimate group reading on the 15th. A new venue for me on December 6th, and I haven't put this event up yet, but I'll be putting it up probably tomorrow, is at Boyer Cellars Tasting Room, and that is December 6th. And there will be tickets online for all of these events. So that's my commercial. That's my housekeeping. And if you're interested in scheduling a reading with me, you can private message me, send me an email, and we can get that set up. I am booking into the end of November and into December right now, and looking at next year's sessions as well. So today I want to talk about a quote that I read that says, I feel like my head's cut off here. I'm sorry. There we go. I feel like you're getting like this much of my head. So the quote goes, stop worrying about other people understanding you. Get in touch with yourself instead. Focus on what makes you happy, what makes your soul free and at peace. You are your biggest commitment. So start loving your flaws, your awkwardness, your weirdness, your intensity, your vulnerability, your everything. Life becomes so much more fulfilling when you are simply yourself. The world keeps spinning, whether people understand or not. So make this next trip around the sun about you. And this is by Charlotte Freeman. And this quote spoke so much to me. You know, when I think about conflict, you know, have you ever been conflicted? I have a lot of things right now that's going on that I'm a little bit conflicted on which is the right way to go. Where is the right way to go? And a lot of my clients are conflicted about certain things as well. So, you know, have you ever been conflicted about a decision? So much to the point where the conflict actually stops you in your tracks. Your gut says, come on, let's do it. And then your head says, here are the positive outcomes, here are the negative outcomes. And then your heart steps in and says, who's going to be affected by your decision? And, you know, your head, your heart, and your gut all feel things in different ways. And when they're all telling you different things, we get conflicted and we get to a standstill. And then a lot of times we don't make any decisions at all. You're conflicted on which way to go at all. Making the right decision can be difficult, and we fear making the wrong decision. And so oftentimes we make no decision at all. Fear is one of those big hurdles that we have to address and have to um, yeah, confront sometimes on a yearly, monthly, weekly, daily basis. It affects the decision. When that fear comes in, we worry about, who will be against us, who's not going to agree with our decision. And we get so worried about that we forget about who agrees with our decision. We forget about how it's going to affect us and how this decision is good for ourselves. This growth, this learning process by making a decision. And when you forget about your own growth, there you're at a standstill. We forget to focus on what makes us happy. Have you ever just forgotten about that? Like, what makes me happy? What do I feel is the best thing for me? What do I feel is the right move to make? We forget to get in touch with ourselves. Because as the quote says, your biggest commitment is to bring peace to your soul. How do I bring peace to my soul? Like, come on, that's to me, that's huge. If your soul is not at peace, we find that word conflicted in our energy. And we were taught that to feel that a certain job or a certain partner or a certain social status will give us everything that we seek, but it's that yearning of the soul. Life becomes so much more happier when we're at peace, when our soul finds that peace. It's what's your soul yearning for. If other people don't understand that, then maybe they're not your people. And you are so much more than, when you think about what your role is, for me, I'm Stacy. I'm a wife, I'm a sister, I'm a mother, I'm a daughter, I'm an aunt, I'm a co-worker, I'm a co-owner, I'm a psychic medium. Like, I've got all these titles that compartmentalize who I am. But then I have to look deep within myself and say, wait a minute, who am I? Who am I? And you want to come to that conclusion that you are this magical, mystical energy inside of the skin that you wear every single day. When you think about the most beautiful person in the world, if they're not happy, then they don't feel beautiful. And they can buy whatever it is that they want to buy, but it doesn't fill that void of completion, that void of what their soul is yearning to do. So when this happens, when you're searching, when your soul feels so compelled to do something, but that fear gridlocks you and you don't do it, you become restless. You don't sleep very well. Maybe you get bored and you're uneasy. You hear people say all the time, oh, I'm extroverted or I'm introverted. Well, why are you extroverted or introverted? Because you're not comfortable in your own skin. You haven't found your soul yet. You haven't found your spiritual energy that makes you magical. What are you searching for? What are you? What will truly make you happy? And you may not know that. What makes you truly happy today may not make you happy in 20 years. It's constantly searching on that peace within yourself, that soul yearning. I can't think of another good word for that, but we all have that deep within our gut. Like we feel drawn, we feel pulled to do something or to say something or to create something. And we've all had these dreams since we were kids. We all dreamt of being and doing something great as we were kids. So think about what's stopping you. And I want you to think hard about that. Seriously, like, what's stopping you from being the best you ever? I remember when we were kids, I was taught that, the ideal thing for a woman is to get a good education. College was never pushed on me, but to get a good education and then find a partner who would take care of me. And I remember my mom saying to me when I was in school that I needed to learn to type because, there's secretarial jobs out there everywhere. And, if nothing else, I could be a secretary. And nothing against being a secretary, but I didn't want to be a secretary. I wanted to own a business. I wanted to fly an airplane. I wanted to, travel and have all these adventures and do all these great things that I didn't want or need a partner to take care of me. And I didn't want to be a secretary. But I listened to what my mom told me. And I mean, granted, when I was young, being a secretary was the best job in the world because it got me into a lot of really great businesses and I learned a lot of different things from a lot of different people. So she was right, in that aspect. And then when I found myself divorced with two small children, I remember her saying to me that I was being too picky in choosing a partner to take care of me. And again, I started to think, I don't want somebody to take care of me. I want someone to partner along beside me. And how can you be too picky about someone that you're going to spend the rest of your life with? And I just needed to find someone who was going to come alongside of me and be my partner. And I was lucky enough to meet someone who enjoys most of my awkward quirkiness, who has big dreams and ideas of his own, who has a life of his own and allows me to have a life of my own. But we have this life together as well, and it's been 28 years, that we've been together. So whether I was too picky or not, I feel like I was just like, it wasn't settling with my soul, some of the other people that I dated until Jeff and I met. And then all of a sudden it was just like, this is it. Does it make sense? When you find, I thought during my single years, I knew that I could take care of myself, but I was afraid of it. I was really afraid because of what I had been taught at a younger age. I had to be comfortable with my vulnerability, with my awkwardness, with my mistakes, with my flaws, with my intensity. Good grief, I can get so intense about certain things. Drives some people crazy, makes other people go, wow, that's really intense. And that's what I was looking for, somebody who could understand my intensity and grow with that instead of hold that against me. Make sense? I had to decide when I was single that my kids and my sanity, that was up to me. I needed to be my biggest commitment. I needed to trust God, to know that God would put the right person in my path at the right time, or that God would provide what we needed when we needed. I had to make myself and my children my biggest commitment. Conflicted? Oh my God. Yes, I was. I was very conflicted. Had I made the right decision? Was I at the right job? Was I parenting correctly? You get conflicted. That's part of being a human, and through this, I was misunderstood. I didn't know who I was or where I was going. I just knew it needed to be this magical adventure for myself and for my kids. You'll only get one chance in this skin. Why not make it the best ever? So when we talk about this, I want to ask you seriously to think about what's holding you back. What are you conflicted about? What are you confused about? Why is that even a question in our human realm? Well, something, someone, somewhere told us we needed to act a certain way, look a certain way, be a certain someone. And if that didn't fit our mold, then it's uncomfortable with this, right? Some people know. My youngest daughter knew when she was young that she was going to either be a veterinarian or she was going to be a nurse. And, she's a vet tech. And she's very good at it. It took me until I was 50 years old to know what I was going to do when I grow up, and things still constantly change. But I have to look at things in a different light now. I have to look at where my gut, where my heart, where my mind, where my energy is taking me. What am I being pulled towards? And I meditate on that a lot. And I ask for signs, and I ask for a path, and I ask for things to open up. And then I just have to trust fully that God is going to show me the right path, right? So, so when your gut says, let's do it, and then your mind gunks it all up by all the scenarios that could take place. And then the scenario of your heart saying, who is this going to affect? Who's not going to understand? Who will this hurt? And I understand that it's hard to put ourselves first, but sometimes if things keep growing up in our heads, if things keep coming around, if this passion just continues to grow, if you don't listen to it, the only thing that you're hurting is yourself. There's a line in a Tom Petty song that says, most things I worry about never happen anyway. I mean, think about that. Bingo. Most things I worry about never happen. Some things I worry about do happen, but am I worrying about them so much that I'm making them happen? Am I not following my gut instincts? Am I not having enough faith that God is showing me the right way? That human mind gets in the way. We get consumed with worry. And those things that we worry about, well, come on, there we go. Hold on. There we go. So if you're conflicted, if you feel like you have to make a big decision right now, stop for a second and breathe and think about this quote. Stop worrying about other people understanding you. That's huge. No one needs to understand you but you. Get in touch with yourself instead. Take that breath, step back, and think about what's best for you. Focus on what makes you happy. What makes your soul feel at peace? If your soul's not at peace, a lot of different things are going to be affected. Your sleep, how you eat, your mood, all those things get affected. You are your biggest commitment. Make a commitment today to make your soul happy and at peace, finding peace. So start loving your flaws, your awkwardness, your weirdness, your intensity, and your vulnerability. You're everything. Life becomes so much more fulfilling when you are just simply yourself. Stop trying to be somebody else. Stop trying to be something that somebody else wants you to be. The world keeps spinning, whether people understand you or not. So why not make this trip around the sun about you? So when you are happy, you attract happy. Conflict? Nope. What makes our soul happy? That, my friend, is where you start. What makes your soul, what makes your energy happy? That's where you start. Roll it back. Think about where you were at when you were happy, where things seemed like they were flowing and going into place. Think about what stopped that. What popped into your head? What popped into your heart? Who said what to make you pause, to stop you in your tracks? We are all great human beings, worthy of so many great things. And we touch so many people's lives that if we pause on a great thought process, someone else will be affected. Someone that you could have affected in a positive way. Think about if, I don't know. Think about if, electricity, think about if they were like, oh, well, we got shocked, so we need to stop. Think about how we plant our flowers. And my husband and I were talking a couple weeks ago about raw oysters. Raw oysters now. I can't imagine the very first person who opened up a raw oyster and thought, let's eat this, right? I just can't even imagine it. But for a lot of people, Raw oysters are a delicacy. Who'd have known? It's a great source of protein. It's not my protein, but you know what I mean? So if the process of that person thinking, oh, this doesn't look very edible, so I'm not even going to try it, we would have never even known. So it is looking at what your possibilities are. It is looking at what is conflicting you, what is stopping you, why is it stopping you, and how can you get around that hurdle? How can you get around that stop sign and start moving forward again? Because there's a magical adventure inside of each and every one of us. Our soul yearns for that. And when hold on, I'm trying to find that quote. And when we stop worrying about other people not understanding us, I've got this quote, I'm not for everybody. And it took me a long time to get to the point where I was easy with that. I wanted people to look up to me. I wanted people to like me. I wanted people to understand, whatever the situation was. And I've gotten to the point where I'm like, I'm okay if you don't like me. I'm okay if you don't understand me. I'm okay. You don't have to. I'm not for everybody. I had to stop worrying about what other people think because my life, my journey is not their life and their journey. We all have our own individual magical journeys that are just waiting to, for us to go on. And think about what's holding you back. Focus on what makes you happy and what makes your soul feel at peace. Be your own biggest commitment. Start loving your flaws, your awkwardness, your weirdness, your intensity, your vulnerability, your everything. Start loving that. What makes you you? I love quirky, weird people. Those people that don't want to be like everybody else, that want to be individuals, that stand out, right? We're not robots that all have to be exactly the same and think the exact same thoughts. That, my friends, is boring, in my opinion. You're your biggest commitment. So start loving all those flaws and things. Life becomes much more fulfilling when you are simply yourself. Be yourself. Love yourself. Go on your own magical adventure. When conflict comes, stop for a second, breathe, and ask yourself, why am I conflicted? Am I worried about other people not understanding? Am I worried about I'm going to fail? Am I worried about am I going to be successful? Some people can't handle success. It's thinking about those things. And then it's knowing that no matter what you decide today, the world's going to keep on spinning. The world's not just going to stop because you've stopped. So if the world's going to keep spinning, why not make the next trip around the sun about you, about finding your happiness, your soul's happiness, peace within yourself, walking through those things that have stopped us, that have conflicted us, that have made us feel less than who we are. And I talk about this all the time. This is part of that journey back home. When I said about the first step, hold on. When you are happy, you attract happy. So conflict goes, nope, she's happy. Our soul energy is what makes us happy. That's where you start, making your soul energy happy. What do you want for yourself today? You don't have to think about 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the road. What will make me happy today? What will make my soul and my spirit free and happy? And do that. Make your soul energy happy today. So, first pre-recorded Connecting the Spirit with Stacy. It actually is Monday night at 10 till 8 instead of Tuesday at 10:30 in the morning. But a lot of things that are coming up. November 3rd, the Inn at Ragged, the Center at Ragged Edge. We're having a group reading there. November 14th and 15th, I will be in Bel Air. The 14th is Past Life Aggression. 15th is a group reading, and then a new venue on December 6th at Boyer Cellars Tasting Room. All those links are up with the exception of Boyer Cellars, but I'll have that up very soon. Click on those events, get your tickets, join me for a gallery reading, a group reading, a private reading, connecting with your loved ones in spirit to help you find that soul peace for yourself. Maybe you just need that evidence that your loved one on the other side is still around you. So today is every day. Well, this evening, I pray that you are living the life you love and you're loving the life you live. If not, you are the only one that can change it. Be your biggest commitment, your biggest cheerleader. Love yourself, your own quirks, your flaws. Make your soul, spirit happy and at peace. All right, guys. I'll talk to you very soon. I hope this works. But I will talk to you next Tuesday at 10:30. I have the blog up on the website now. Last week was my first blog. And we do have the podcast starting, so check those out as well. They're growing, and we're working through some kinks. But hey, it's another way to talk to me, to have me talk to you. All right, guys, have a great and wonderful day. Think about what makes your soul energy happy today, and do something for yourself. Peace out. I love you, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.